Hello, and welcome to my video on qualitative research. This is a short introduction. What is qualitative research? This is when you attempt to collect rich data in respect to a phenomenon or something that needs to be observed or studied, which is worth understanding. So, qualitative research is all about you pick a topic and you want to collect rich data, you want to collect in depth data. That is why we have a separate video for qualitative data techniques. How do you get data? And there we talk about it might be one-on-one interviews or focus group or artifacts or maybe document analysis, maybe photographs or videos. Watch that video. It's anything where you are looking for patterns or themes in data but you're trying to collect rich data. So you want to create, you're interested in understanding the meaning that people have constructed from something, and you want to see how people make sense of their world and their experiences in this world. This is why this is more qualitative research. It is more in depth than quantitative research, because in quantitative research, you might just send out a questionnaire, 100 questionnaires come back and you analyze it. But with qualitative research, if you're interviewing someone face to face, one on one, you are trying to make sense of their world and also the experience that they have lived. So it is very in depth. It says it's in depth. It's usually face to face, like when you're observing someone or interviewing someone. And usually, these people that you are observing or interviewing, you would do this in their natural settings. So, if it is in educational research, you would go to schools to see how teachers are teaching or how learners are learning and so forth. So, it describes and analyzes individual or collective social actions, beliefs, and thoughts, and also perceptions. So it's very exploratory in nature, because you would have seen or you will see in the video on interviewing techniques. We teach you how to use prompts and probes where you it's very exploratory that when someone says something, you would prompt them or you would probe deeper where you would say, "Oh, that is very interesting. Why do you say this?" Or, "Oh, this is interesting. Why do you feel this way?" So it is very exploratory in nature, and it uses very flexible data collection methods. Um, as I said, you should be flexible, because if a participant mentions something, you should have that flexibility to move away from the questions that's on your piece of paper and sort of say, "Oh, but you said this. Could you please elaborate on what you have said?" So it's very open ended where you want people to talk. It follows an inductive style of questioning. We do have a separate video on what is the difference between deductive and inductive. So I'm not going into that details here. It's a whole video on its own, but it's got a very inductive self questioning and observation. So, qualitative data is usually in the form of narratives of lived experiences and observations rather than numbers. So, quantitative data is more numbers. You send out a questionnaire, you get it back, you analyze the data, you look at the numbers like you would report on percentages and means. But qualitative data, if you interview someone, you take their narrative and you would transcribe it and look for patterns and themes within these transcriptions. So it's all about narratives of their lived experiences. So that is why it is so in depth. And that is the main advantage of qualitative research, is that you're getting these in-depth experiences of lived experiences. So the aim is to interpret some phenomena in terms of the meanings that people assign to it. So people obviously assign meaning to things, and the whole idea is to get this in-depth understanding of the meaning they assign to certain phenomena. Okay, this was just a quick video. The idea, all you had to get here was that qualitative data, qualitative research, you are looking for in-depth narratives and you are looking for people's experiences, their lived experience, and how they find meaning in things. So it's typically things like interviewing them, whereas quantitative research are numbers. You would send out a questionnaire, it comes back, you get some percentages and some means. So with quantitative research, there's no in-depth information that you get. And that is why some people prefer qualitative research.